Well, hello there, Tenno, and welcome to Mastery Rank 26 test. Yay! Before we get into it, could you do me the honour of dropping me a like, comment and or sub, and I will be eternally grateful because I need your support. Now, this test requires the player to capture 6 mobile control points. And it's very similar to, I think it's the Mastery Rank 23 test. And we've got to do it within 5 minutes by standing within a radius as they move along set paths each time, while under constant fire from the Grineer. Yay! Capture progress will decay if you're outside of the white radius, meaning you have to sort of start again, taking more time. The point will gradually turn green, and then when it stops moving at 100%, you pop off and you find the next one, and they are marked on your little mini map. So in contrast to the normal variant of this test, the original one, which was MR23, I believe, the Grineer enemies here are a bit higher, leveled around 41 to 46, so they can do you a little bit of damage. The wiki recommends bringing frames like Inaros, Rhino, Nez or Nida so they can sustain under heavy gunfire, but wouldn't it just be better to be invisible or just not take on that gunfire at all? The map in this test is much more vertical as well, so we're going up and down and following the points up and down walls, so we need to be, you know, limber. We need to be able to press the right buttons and stick to the wall. We don't need to do wall latching, really. We can use our operator stroke drifter. We can use our operator stroke drifter ability. So if you want energy, there is no other way of giving yourself energy apart from killing the enemies and getting energy drops from there, but we don't want to be wasting time doing that. So you want to use things like energy siphon, ability efficiency, Rage, Hunter Adrenaline, or Zanuric's Wellspring, or just mod for a ton of energy, be efficient, and give yourself lots of duration. And this is exactly what I've done with my Loki build. Or you could just use a frame that doesn't require energy to go into the Rift. So I would recommend highly Loki or Limbo because they make this test so much easier. And I modded them for a little bit of speed as well, just so we can keep up with it. But as you can see, these points aren't moving really quickly all the time. It's really up to us to be parkouring well. That's all it is. It's going to come down to your skill and staying away from the enemy fire. So you can bring a companion as well. The companions can be doing stuff the enemies, I don't know, Nautilus's cordon mod. I did this test when you'll see the proper test in a moment with my Panzervolk filler. So I'm going to show you my builds. I'm going to show you the test with both Warframes. I didn't do great both times. I missed a couple of points, but I still managed to complete it. You just don't need to panic, okay? And they do stick to a set path every time. So the more you practice it, the more you'll get used to the pathways that these little points take. This one here, that was the most difficult one. So at this point, I assume some people in the comments will tell me what they used for their test and what they cheesed it with, but I'm going to recommend using Limbo or Loki. So Limbo, I just modded him for speed as much as I could. We don't need to worry about anything else with him because we're going to use his Rift ability, which is basically the dodge button that doesn't use energy. And when he's in the Rift, he doesn't take damage. However, the enemies can see you and they will be very interested by you, which I find a bit annoying. And on both occasions that you'll see in this final iteration of these tests, I took the Panzervolk filler with the viral spread. And it was just spreading viral procs around the enemies and kind of distracting them. You could take the Duriga and put electric procs on them and stun them. You could try the cordon mod with Nautilus, whatever you fancy. Now, out of the 2 frames that I used, I preferred Loki because being invisible just means they leave you alone. The enemies just absolutely don't bother with you. So I put high duration on, and I wanted to have some kind of preparation in there. So he's got a lot of energy. So we need energy and duration and a bit of speed. And these are the mods I used. You can use a version of them. And if you've got Archon shards, shove them in for maybe duration or casting speed or maybe the preparation. I think it's the Amber Archon shard, but don't worry about the Archon shards if you don't have them. So let's look at the test with Limbo first, and I've chaptered up this video so that you can just switch between the chapters that you are interested in and go back and forth, etc. if you don't want to watch Limbo and go straight to Loki. Now, as you can see, I dodged and went straight into the Rift. Now, the only reason I didn't love Limbo for this is because sometimes I use the dodge button for a little burst of speed without, you know, bullet jumping or doing a double jump. And going up that wall, I didn't press any other button apart from the jump button. So as I was facing the wall, Limbo just sort of automatically attached to the wall. And we just followed it up by tapping the jump button. There was no wall latching necessary, nothing like that. And as you can see, they're not going really super fast. There are these sort of awkward corner bits where you can't go and they go. So you might be out of the circle for a moment, but you could jump over there and aim glide along with them. And as you can see, I've totally lost track of it. And remember to not follow the one that's already green. Just keep an eye on which way they're going. They've done it in a way that sometimes you meet two, they're still going round even though they've turned green. I thought they were supposed to stop, but in this one they seem to just continue. And as you can see, I used my operator stroke drifter to slingshot across the map quicker, and I'm just following. This one seems to be on a very similar route to the last one. It's going across that gap, so again we just want to bullet jump or double jump or aim glide and try to stay in the reticle. But as you can see, I came out of it. The capture progress decayed slightly. It's fine. You stay calm. You don't panic. Just keep an eye when you're getting close to that 100% mark. Keep an eye on the map for where the next one might be. Now this one that goes up and down and across is, to me, the most irksome and tricky, and its speed varies, and sometimes it goes backwards. It doesn't go it doesn't go in the order that I thought it was going to, or one of them did. They kind of looked like they were going to carry on in one direction and then went back the other direction, and I was like, what? Because I hadn't practiced. Now I don't know if you know this, but back in the day with the mastery tests, you had a practice button and a perform the test properly button. And if you performed the test properly and failed it, you had to wait 24 hours before you could retake the test. Nowadays, they don't have that. You don't have a practice button anymore. Every single test is essentially a practice unless you pass it. And you can resit that exam as many times as you wish. I cannot tell you the pressure that I felt the first time round when I did this test. And I think the second time as well, they hadn't actually introduced this getting rid of the 24-hour cool-off period. The pressure that you felt because you just wanted to get it done and you only had one chance to pass it was so intense that I remember screwing this one up multiple times, and I think I got stuck on it for quite a while. So at no point am I saying to you, this is an easy test. You know there's going to be some people that find this so easy. They're not stressed out, they're not bothered by it at all. And then other people who are really impacted by the stressful feeling because they've got to parkour around a bit. And there is that feeling sometimes when you jump and you know you've already stuffed the jump up and you're about to fall off the edge, and it just feels even more stressful. Right, so that was the test with Limbo. What do we think? We were getting some jip off the enemies. I still have a little bit of time left. Let's look at the Loki one. Now I have to say, with this Loki build and his long duration and lots of energy, this just made it so much easier, because when you're invisible, the enemies just simply leave you alone. As you can see, I stuffed up the beginning jump. Don't panic. Just keep your eye on the prize. Don't get distracted by the other points until you're near sort of 70 or 80%, and then maybe have a little look up to the left of your map. And by the way, when you're going down, just press aim glide or the wall latch button. I don't know what that is for PC. Obviously, I'm on PC, but I'm using an Xbox controller because I find parkouring and looking around so much easier. You could wall latch across here, by the way, if you are confident to, and keep the progress growing, but I just didn't feel like I was confident enough then. I prefer controller for me because that's what I've always played with, and I tried PC, keyboard and mouse when I first started this account, and I got to the new war, and it was at that point I had to switch back to controller because I just couldn't do the Archon Amar, I think it was, fight. I just couldn't do it on keyboard and mouse. It was too irksome and tricky, and I think I came up with new swear words. Anyway, as you can see, this point is following a very similar route to the last one we did. I don't know if it's on the opposite side of the map or it just happens to be on the same route, but you will sometimes repeat the same route. Now, they all follow the same path each time, but sometimes you'll reach it in a different place on the map, if you get what I mean. And as you can see, it does show you on the mini map whether it's up or down from you, so you know whether to go down a level or bullet jump or slingshot up as your operator or drifter. It's all about peace and calm and tranquility and staying unfettered by stress, which is so much easier to say when the test means so much to you to get past and you've done it over and over. But just remember, Tenno, you can do this as many times as you wish, and just my advice is to keep practicing. If you're not good at parkouring, obviously this will induce a little bit of panic and stress at some point. And I guess time in the game does help, because when I first did this test, my first Xbox account, I panicked and I struggled. I've done it so many times now, and I've been playing the game for so long, I didn't panic. I just, and obviously it's not as critical to me now because I'm Legendary 4, but it's all to do with your mindset, staying calm. Little, as you can see, we're just trotting along. They don't really shoot off at any huge amount of speed. This one, again, left the really hard one till last. There's lots of going up and down, backwards and forwards on this one, and it is a predictable route, but it's still tricky and it's still irksome and it's still stressful. But as you can see, those enemies, because we're invisible, we're literally stood right next to them, and they're just completely ignoring us. So there you go. We did a little aim glide down to the bottom and we've completed it. So my darlings, practice makes perfect. Let me know who you use. I did think about Wisp because when she jumps she's invisible. Ivara maybe, but it's hard to bullet jump with her when she's invisible. Wukong maybe, I don't know. Let me know who you would prefer to use or who you have used, and let us know in the comments because we're all nosy bitches. Okay, good luck my darling. You have all of the support over here. If you want to join the Discord and get any more moral support, please feel free to do so. The link is on my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Good luck, Tenno, and I'll see you in Mastery Ranked 27 test. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next one, no matter what it may be. But in the meantime, you take care now, and goodbye.